One of the greatest change organizations in the world is the military. They take young people, often undisciplined, haven't got a lot of knowledge, and through tough times they instruct them. We must learn to love discipline. We must learn to love tough times and correction.
Look straight! Look straight! Welcome to the United States Navy. For the next 8 weeks, you will not do a single thing on your own. I tell you what to do, how to do it, when to do it. Nothing that I ever tell you is a request, an option, or a suggestion.
So you make it, you give it direction, and you have 0.5 seconds to pay attention to it, to the letter. So you can't mess up. If you mess up, then that's on you, and it's really gonna fall back on you.
You will roll up your pant legs 3 inches up. When you are done, you will be on the tow line, standing straight, looking straight, awaiting further instruction. You have 15 seconds. Go! Go! Hurry up!
Let's go!
I said, behind you! Behind you! Not next to you! You! Behind you!
Is that touching your heels? No, it's not! Fix it! Pull
Fix
your
your
stuff!
Fix
Pull your
it!
stuff!
Put your garbage away! Aye, aye, Chief! That's how you sound off! Talk loud!
Aye, aye, Chief.
He said get down to the last shirt with sleeves! Maybe I wasn't loud enough. Maybe you couldn't understand me. Fix yourself now!
There is a reason for everything that we do here. We do instill that pressure.
Now you want to fix it. Maybe had you just done the right thing the first time, you wouldn't be in this situation.
Because again, when you do get to the fleet, we want to make sure that you fight and you don't fold. It's more your Navy than it is mine. Years from now, I'm gonna retire and you're gonna take over my spot.
I like challenges, and I feel like this is a challenge, and I'm gonna beat it. I'm going to graduate.
I have a very set goal of what I'm here to do. If I have to get yelled at, I'm getting yelled at, and that's fine. But in 8 weeks, I plan on being out of here.
You think you're weak. You think you don't have what it takes. But you're wrong. You're not weak. You're undisciplined. There's a massive difference. Weakness means you can't. Undisciplined means you won't. See the difference? One is permanent. The other is a choice. Most people confuse the two. They fail, they quit, they give up, and they tell themselves, I'm just not strong enough. That's a lie. It's not strength you're missing. It's discipline.
The Bible often speaks about how we're in a war here on earth, and I take a lot of encouragement from the army in training yourself in discipline, overcoming challenges. Many people think Christianity is effortless. In fact, the Bible instructs us to fight and fight for godliness and train our body in godliness. And it often also refers to us being in a race and enduring and fighting.
A couple months ago, I was reading through Matthew and I came across Matthew 7, 13, and 14. It says, "Enter by the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the road is easy that leads to destruction, and many enter by it. For the gate is narrow and the way is hard that leads to life, and those who find it are few." And I have heard this verse many times before, but for some reason, this time when I was reading it, it just hit me sideways. And as I was praying and meditating on this verse, I had a thought that popped into my mind and this really strong conviction that came over me that's been at the forefront of my thoughts since I read it. And it's, what if the narrow road is even more narrow than I thought? I'm sure you've noticed how easy it is to look like a Christian in today's day and age, and a recent study came out from Arizona Christian University that found that 68% of Americans identify as being a Christian. However, only 4% of Americans hold values that are consistent with the teachings of the Bible. And that alone tells us that there is a difference between cultural Christianity and true biblical faith. Cultural Christianity is popular, it's comfortable, it allows Jesus in, but not too much to the point that he interferes with our lives. But true biblical Christianity is different. It means walking in ways that go completely against the ways of the world. One fits in and is popular, one is set apart and is hard to find. And I think it's easy for a lot of us to read this verse in Matthew and just nod along and think, yep, following Jesus is hard sometimes, but Jesus is not just saying that it will be challenging. He's saying that this road is so narrow, so counter to the ways of the world that very few people will actually walk it. The narrow road doesn't just call you away from the world, it calls you to die to yourself. And Jesus said in Matthew 16:24, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross and follow me." this really strong conviction that came over me that's been at the forefront of my thoughts since I read it. And it's, what if the narrow road is even more narrow than I thought? I'm sure you've noticed how easy it is to look like a Christian in today's day and age, and a recent study came out from Arizona Christian University that found that 68% of Americans identify as being a Christian. However, only 4% of Americans hold values that are consistent with the teachings of the Bible. And that alone tells us that there is a difference between cultural Christianity and true biblical faith.
Dr. Piper, John Piper, I heard him say something one time that really, really helped me. You know, he's a brilliant man, he's a very spiritual man, very devoted. And sometimes you see a person like that and you think they can do that because it's easy for them. They're just special. And one day I heard him preaching. He said something like this: I have to fight for everything. I have to fight to read my Bible. I have to fight for joy. I have to fight to pray. You see, that helped me because I have to fight to pray, and I have to fight to read the Bible, and I have to fight to be pure in this world. It's not easy. And when I learned that, wow, even the guys and the women and the men who seem to have so much success in the Christian life and to be so godly, when I heard that for them it isn't easy, that they had to fight, then I realized that they're no different than me. They just maybe want it more. Or maybe they've seen a bigger vision of Jesus and seen that he's so special that he's worth the fight. And so when I talk to you about keeping the Word of God at the very, center of everything, that requires reading, studying, memorizing, meditating, and it's something that your flesh hates. And I just want you to know, don't say, oh, it's difficult for me, and that's why I don't do it. Well, it's difficult for me, and it's difficult for John Piper, and it's difficult. If Dr. MacArthur was here, he would say it is difficult for him, and it is difficult for Voddie Baucham, and it was difficult for R.C. Sproul. It was difficult for Charles Spurgeon. It's always been difficult for everyone. So join us in the battle. Fight against your flesh, fight against the world, fight against the devil, and keep the Bible at the very center of your life.